And to you, the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
It's a Thursday here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by all of our friends out there in the Quad Cities who like to advertise with us. This is Don't Hassle Us Local, AM 1170. Thanks for tuning in. Did I just hear before we came in that Keyshawn Johnson thinks Justin Fields is the best quarterback in this draft?
Mm-hmm.
God, he's so stupid.
Yeah, I give him a show.
Okay.
It's whoever gets to talk the loudest sometimes.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are right, I guess.
I don't
know. Well, I don't think so, but that's not always up to me. It's not always up to me. Yep, it's Thursday, February 11th, 2021. Exciting little day that we have here. We have a little bit of, the excitement of the boat parade now. We'll be talking about that for a while. I mean, tossing around the Lombardi trophy like it's, I don't know, a 40 ounce or whatever else, tossing from boat to boat. I think he just did it once. It was to Cam and Brait. He knew they were going to do it. He caught it like, of course he should. And then, Tom had a little fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, an avocado tequila.
He was a little wobbly.
Yeah.
It's all right.
He really looked good.
He wasn't driving the boat.
No. It was his boat that he was on.
Yeah.
It's his $2 million yacht, but...
Of course he's got a $2 million yacht.
Of course he does. Tom Brady.
Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, that was rather... That was fun. What more can you say? Yeah. And then you had the thing, the Bruce Arians, the parade, or you want a boat parade, when he's mic'd up and he's talking to the fans, right?
It was great.
And, he kind of...
shined up.
Yeah, and he takes a little bit to the Chiefs run it back motto and gave the Bucs their own rallying cry that we're going for 2. So boat parade was interesting, and it's pretty neat. And that what the Buccaneers got to do, and I don't know how much longer Tom Brady's got in, and I don't know how much longer the staying power the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. All right, I mean the way I heard it is really you want to get into the top 6 tier. The 6 that has a shot every year to at least make it to the championship game. Not the Super Bowl, the AFC or your NFC championship game.
Right.
And that's basically that's about the 20-year motto, or the model of the New England Patriots. Get there, and maybe along the way there'll be a tip pass. Even if we don't have the best team, and there might be a tip pass, or someone gets hurt, or do whatever.
Right.
I would say Kansas City's in there.
Oh, yeah.
In the top 6.
O-line problems are probably easily fixed with people staying healthy.
Yeah, but I don't know about Fisher. Not with an Achilles. You're going to have to draft someone.
They're going to draft. They're definitely going to draft O-line.
Okay.
They have to. You have to protect Mahomes. Now, the thing that's shocking me is all this crap coming out of Seattle. Is it just slow sports time and they're just stirring the pot?
Well, it's funny because we were mentioning it. We had the phone call from Adam the other day, right? And then he said he's like, I forgot to mention Russell Wilson. And this Adam's kind of thing was he was talking about the player power, or the power entitlement, or player entitlement. If you don't like something, if you're frustrated, maybe you can do something. Basically, Russell Wilson went to the front office and said, I'm tired of getting hit. He's been hit the most times in the last, 7 years? And he says, what are you going to do to protect me in the future of this franchise?
He's the most sacked quarterback in a 9-year stretch in NFL history.
CBSSports.com, Jason La Canfora believes there is a real possibility that a trade does happen with Russell Wilson. And Jason says it's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oof.
He says Wilson's gone on public with his frustrations with being beaten up year after year, with the offensive line not getting better, and his frustration with all the sacks mounting. The Raiders have invested a ton of money and capital into their offensive line already, and with Wilson on an affordable deal, they could continue to spend on free agents if need be. They have a stud running back in Josh Jacobs, one of the dominant tight ends in the games in Darren Waller, and perhaps a budding star outside receiver in Henry Ruggs. Checks a lot of the boxes. Obviously, the Raiders have not been clearly sold on Derek Carr as a future. I think that's something we kind of knew about when Gruden was coming in. And Mark Davis isn't afraid to get aggressive when he wants to do something. And John Gruden. The thing is, feel like it's if John Gruden doesn't care for Derek Carr, then they should just get rid of him, because I feel like we've all watched the quarterback with Gruden thing, before he was a coach, and how much he gushes over every single quarterback in the NFL. So he loves Russell Wilson. So,
and they're already talking about possibly trading. They've had interest in Marcus Mariota. I saw that yesterday come across.
They have no problem cutting Carr. It's going to save him something like $19 million if they just cut him at the cap. It's something ridiculous. Or if I say 19, it could be 9. It's one of the two. But yeah, they do like Marcus Mariota, and I think they can go move forward with that. But, well, if you're Seattle, that's not what you want to do. If you're Pete Carroll, that's not what you want to do. And it just seems more and more like players are. Adam made the phone call, and he said, our players, is this entitlement? Are we an entitlement? Like, if you don't give me what I want out of here.
I don't know if it's entitlement. I mean, I can see Russell Wilson's point.
Power move. How's that?
It's a good power move.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting his head beat in. It's time to say something.
Well, CBSSports.com goes even further in this now. What would be the next unhappy Major League Baseball star to request a trade?
I don't know. Baseball players bitch more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? Who's disgruntled now?
Well, we know in the offseason, Blake Snell, Francisco Lindor, and Nolan Arenado were not happy with where they were at, and they got traded. Here's some of the candidates. He didn't go to the... Yeah, did he? He went to the Padres, right? Or no, he went to the Mets.
Did he?
Yeah. Here's some of the candidates
That's not an upgrade.
Here's some of the candidates that they're writing about on CBSSports.com. Jose Ramirez from Cleveland. He's an MVP caliber performer, signed to an affordable long-term contract. But he might be wanting to get out because Cleveland doesn't really look like they're in the
mix anymore.
Yeah, to have a winning franchise right now. Committed to winning right now. How's that? And that's usually what starts. Then you have Trevor Story from the Colorado Rockies. He is a year away from free agency, and he probably will not be staying in Colorado, so he might be on the block before the season's done. And then this is the biggest name.
Chris Bryant.
Mike Trout.
He's unhappy?
No, it's just that what they're trying to get at is he's going to turn 30 in August, all right? He wants to win at some point. Mm-hmm. And the Angels just don't look like the team that's going to be winning. Let's see. It goes on to write, it's hard to imagine the Angels want to trade the best player in baseball, but Trout might end up wanting out of the franchise if the franchise doesn't turn things around soon. They played all 3 postseason games during the Trout era, and they were all losses 7 years ago. So they haven't made it in there since he was 23? Yeah. Well, 22. He turns 30 in August, like I said. And then there was a trade going on with the Benintendi. That was a 3-player deal. But, baseball's right around the corner. So we get to be talking about it more and more. It doesn't seem like that's the Mike Trout way to go, but I don't know the man personally. I'm just saying that it is, it's something to keep an eye on. Last night, Iowa beat Rutgers 79-66. It was Iowa's NCAA best 5th win against the top 25 opponent this season. And the Hawkeyes have won 10 of its last 11 games against ranked opponents at home dating back to last season. Both Luka Garza and Joe Wieskamp recorded double-doubles. Luka netted his 500th point of the season. In the second half, the All-American finished with the game with 22 points and 10 rebounds. Weezy, total a game and season best, 26 points. He had 10 defensive rebounds. He has the Weezy top 20 points for the fourth time this season, the 14th time in his career. C.J. Frederick returned to the starting lineup. He played 17 minutes. Rutgers 25 points in the first half. Our season low for an Iowa opponent this season. And Iowa improved to 4-1 against Rutgers in Iowa City. Iowa's going to hit the road on Saturday to play Michigan State. Tip-off is scheduled for 1:37, and will be televised nationally on Fox. We're going to end the second hour. We're going to have Tom Kakert in from Hawkeye Report to talk a little bit more about the moves that the coaching staff has happened for the University of Iowa. Lost our offensive line coach. He's going to the OC. He'll be the OC at Wyoming. We lost Derek Foster, the running backs coach. He's going to the NFL. Where is he going to in the NFL? I know I just had it right in front of me. So we'll talk to Kakert about that. He's leaving to join an NFL team. They have not announced where Derek Foster's going. Tim Polasek is the one that's joining the coaching staff at the University of Wyoming as an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Friend of the show, former Bettner Bulldog, graduate assistant also, played for Iowa, Matt Drinkle. Yesterday was all over the message boards. Like he's going to be named something. So, of course, I'm going to message him. Yeah. He's like, this is news to me.
Yep.
It's not those message boards. Don't worry about him. But he said, he'd be more than happy to listen if Ferentz came calling. So Ferentz said about Derek, this is an important opportunity for Derek in the National Football League since he joined our staff. As the running backs coach, Derek has had significant impact on the players on our staff, which Derek and Bianca, his wife, and their 2 young children, all the best in their new home. And then you have Polasek. He was there in 2000. He came to the staff in 2017. We've said nothing but good things about the offensive line. Ferentz said since Tim joined the program 4 years ago, the players he has led have improved every day and were well prepared to compete every Saturday. Tim has a creative offensive mind and will no doubt do very well in his next opportunity. We wish Tim and his wife Jill the very best. And other news, again, we'll talk to Kakert about all this and more. Bettendorf, Quad City, former Bettner Bulldog, Quad City football player, Kellenberger, Mark, is decided that he's not going to continue his college career. He said, I'm ready to, so he's going to graduate. He would have been a fifth-year senior if he would have come back. He's going to graduate in the spring. He said, I'm ready to bring my college football career to a close and move on to the next chapter of my life. I have enjoyed my 4 years as a Hawkeye. I will cherish the camaraderie with my teammates in the locker room and on the field. I want to say thank you to Coach Ferentz and all the coaches who have helped me become a better player and a better person. Like I said, he joined the Hawkeyes in 2017. This is Kellenberger. He was a 3-year letterman. He played guard and tackle positions on the offensive line. He started 4 games at right tackle in 2020, missing 2 games due to an injury. He earned honorable mention All Big Ten recognition from league media. So we don't know. We don't know if he's going to put his time in there and try to do something at the combine or if he's just going to graduate and do whatever. Right. Maybe he'll become a host of the show. Who knows? You never know. And finally, the NCAA tournament has announced its March Madness TV schedule, tip-off times, and Selection Sunday. So, Selection Sunday will be held on March 14th from 5 to 6 p.m. on CBS. What we're used to then is having the first 4 play on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Instead, the first 4 will take place on Thursday, March 18th, with the 4 p.m. game on True TV and a 5:20 tip-off on TBS. After that, so the first 4, there's 4 games that day on Thursday, March 18th. There's a 4 o'clock, a 5:20, a 7:30, and an 8:50. The final one's at 8:50 on TBS. Those are the first 4 in. The first round will instead be on a Friday, March 19th.
Instead of Thursday.
That's right.
Okay.
So it leaves, we will not have any basketball on St. Patrick's Day. So the first round is Friday, March 19th, and then obviously Saturday, March 20th. The second round goes right into March 21st. That's a Sunday. And then into Monday. So March 22nd. Then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. And then you start the Sweet 16 on Saturday, March 27th. Continuing on Sunday, the 28th. The Elite Eight will play on Monday, March 29th. And then on Tuesday, March 30th. Then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. The Final Four will play on Saturday, April 3rd. The national championship game will be an 8 o'clock tip-off time, our time, Monday, April 5th on CBS. So it'll look a little different, and obviously it's just all in Indiana. We know that. It's all over the place. But instead of the Thursday, Friday, we'll now be playing into Mondays multiple times.
Nice. Hey, I got to give a shout-out to Eddie Deerfield out there.
Yeah.
Beautiful 50 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Huh, so that's an interesting, so let's do the math here. Okay. So he's 50 years old today.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm doing this correctly, he would have been 19 when this happened? In this day in sports?
Oof. Let me think about that.
On his 19th birthday.
So 1990.
1990. There you go.
This day in sports in 1990.
February 11th, 1990.
Give me a hint.
42-1.
42-1?
Yeah. 42-1 underdog.
I don't know. I'm a loss.
The upset of the decade. One of the biggest upsets in sports history.
Oh. Tyson gets knocked out by... Yes.
Buster Douglas.
That was on Eddie's birthday?
Yes, it was.
God, it seems
February
so
11th,
warm
1990.
In 1990 at that day.
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
That's right. Tyson was previously undefeated, 37-0. It was a 10th round knockout to win the heavyweight title. Tyson was overconfident heading into what was supposed to be a breezy victory. He didn't train. He didn't watch film. He basically admitted in 2015 on Jimmy Kimmel that he came in 30 pounds overweight and he spent most of the time hanging out with maids from the hotel room in his bedroom. It was a 42-1. Buster Douglas was a 42-1 underdog. To keep that in context, the number 16 seed, the UMBC, when it would upset Virginia, the only time that the number one has ever lost in the first round, they were only a 25-1 underdog. Douglas went on to lose his first title defense 8 months later in a third-round knockout to Evander Holyfield. Tyson fought a little bit more before he ended up going to jail for a little bit, and then when he returned to the ring in 1995, he finished his career with a 9-5 record over the next decade. But that is what happened today in Sports Illustrated. You know, I still have this Sports Illustrated.
Really?
The cover of it, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember right where I was at.
So do I. Well, I didn't. I remember where I was coming from, and then I watched ESPN, and I was like, "There's no way that happened." Like I was out that night.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it on the radio. We were watching the fight, and we left.
Yeah,
When I left. I thought, "Oh, he's got him." I was wrong.
All right. At 12:30, we're going to talk to Jake, but we're going to take our first break here at Don't Hassle Us for Local, and then we'll talk to Jake for a little bit, and then at 1 o'clock, we're going to have Tom Kakerkin talk all kinds of sports, Iowa-related, and catch up with him. We haven't seen him in a while, so it should be a lot of fun. But we will be right back with Don't Hassle Us, We're Local, here on ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, Quad Cities, you need to get down to Tri-City Equipment. They've been rocking and rolling since 1934, giving you the best place to get restaurant equipment. If you need utensils, tableware, whatever, maybe taking care of your home chef, try them online at tricityequipment.com, or you go down to their newly remodeled 2,400 square foot showroom at 527 West 4th Street in Davenport. Remember, they deliver to all Quad City residents, and they match online pricing. Give them a call today with any questions at 563-322-5382. Showroom hours 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's Tri-City Equipment, 527 West 4th Street in Davenport.
We're streaking! We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium. There's more coming.
Frank, get in the car.
Everybody's doing it.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Sports bettors, are you ready? You can now experience Iowa's premium sportsbook from the comfort of your own home. Download the PointsBet app now and use code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. When you bet with PointsBet, you get faster bets, faster withdrawals, and faster rewards at your fingertips. All on an easy-to-use app rated #1 on Trustpilot. See for yourself why bettors are calling PointsBet innovative, lightning quick, and the reason they've ditched the other books. Plus, PointsBet's Refer a Friend program is now easier than ever. Refer a friend to PointsBet and you both get $100 in free bets. Share with your friends the faster, easier way to bet. Download the app now to experience Iowa's premium sportsbook for yourself. And don't forget to sign up with code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. What do you have to lose? So, are you ready? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Good news for the Chiefs on Wednesday. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport tweeting, Patrick Mahomes' foot surgery went well, no issues at all. Meanwhile, Mahomes' counterpart Tom Brady and his fellow Buccaneers cut things loose with the Lombardi Trophy as they celebrated their Super Bowl 55 victory with a boat parade in Tampa Wednesday. Ravens offensive tackle Orlando Brown wants to be traded. Brown wants to only play left tackle and will only play for a team that will play him at that preferred spot. 2 teams adding senior defensive assistants. The Vikings hired former Bengals and Raiders defensive coordinator Paul Gunther, who worked with Mike Zimmer for 6 years in Cincinnati. And the Bears hired Mike Pettin after spending 3 years as the Packers defensive coordinator. Projected #1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence will throw for NFL teams tomorrow, and you can watch all the action on NFL Network starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
More time at home means more washing, drying, cooking, and cleaning at home, and more wear and tear on old appliances. But it's the perfect time to save on new ones at the Home Depot. For savings on the latest appliances, and right now free delivery. From the kitchen to the laundry room, that upgrade is well within reach. And closer than ever. Save on top appliances, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. Free delivery on major appliances $396 or more, valid through February 24th.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Today, Angola Jr.
So I asked people, what's the kind of sports take where you almost want to say it like NBA players, where you cover your mouth at half court so no one can see what you're talking about when you say the thing you really want to talk about here. It's not slander to point out it's difficult for any one player to carry a basketball team right now. And saying that Steph Curry by himself is not capable of carrying a basketball team to championship heights, I don't think it's a slight. It's just a reality of how difficult it is to find the LeBron James caliber players who can drag a team by himself to a finals.
If you look at the situation, the reality is give him some more time. I agree with you. One player, it's going to be hard to lead a team. Giannis learned that last year. But now I feel like you have to give some time. He finally got Draymond Green back. He's going to get better shooting. And then, yeah, you shouldn't just put the cap on Steph Curry because all that conversation was a straight-up cap.
Janae and Gola Jr. 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Branney.
I just haven't felt very good. I'm always depressed and I just don't have the energy I used to.
Do you have a wife? Maybe a few kids?
Why, yes.
How about a house? Lots of bills to pay.
Uh-huh.
Have you taken a ride on your Suzuki motorcycle lately?
Well, I haven't had a motorcycle in years.
You seem to be suffering from a condition known as cyclist neglectus.
What the heck is that?
Certain elements in one's life that prevents us from owning a motorcycle. Here, I'll write you a prescription, and you must carefully follow the instructions. Get a Suzuki motorcycle, ride it often, and it won't make you drowsy. Might I suggest a new Suzuki 800 or 1400 Intruder from our associate clinic. You know, Brenny's in Bettendorf. Heck, I'd even submit it to Medicare.
Dr. Brenny to ER, Dr. Brenny to ER, staff.
Well, I gotta go. My liver transplant's here. Now, what did I do with that darn liver? Oh, here it is. My silly wife. She packed it in my lunch cooler again.
ESPN.
Check out the new Suzuki motorcycles at Bernie's Motorcycle Clinic and Pharmacy, 4426 State Street, Bettendorf, across from Alcoa. Almost.
We're the escape from your boss. The best sports talk lives right here every day. ESPN 1170.
Welcome back, Hasslers. You're on AM 1170, listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local. Jaybird T-Roy in the house. Corral with Cheese is out having a sandwich or something.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at things that just came off the wire from Major League Baseball about all the game times or whatever else. There's just a lot to break down here. I can tell you this, that the Major League Baseball Field of Dreams, presented by Geico, between the White Sox and the Yankees, will be on Thursday.
I like that you...
I just throw it in there. They wrote it out
by
there.
Geico.
Yeah, I mean, they wrote it out there, so I mean, might as well. That's going to be Thursday, August 12th in Dyersville, Iowa. It'll be 6:15 our time on Fox. It'll be the first Major League game ever played in Iowa. So that'll be exciting. All-Star Game is back. It'll be hosted in Atlanta and scheduled for Tuesday the 13th of July. That'll be on Fox. Let's see what else is out there. Yeah, I don't know. There's just it's a long list of crazy things in there. Got a email before the show from our friend Angie Peterson. If you remember Angie, she's the one that hooked us up with the Children's Therapy Center of the Quad Cities, who introduced us to Chuck Long. All right. They're going to be starting these things in here called the Quad City Corporate Games.
All right.
This is something that they've actually been doing in other cities. This is the first time it's coming to the Quad Cities. As far as that's what I got from an email from her. So
like
they're excited.
Olympic Games?
Yeah, but you got to do it with like your business.
Your peeps, huh?
Yeah. So like there's
what kind of games, Jay?
I'm glad you mentioned it. But first I just want to say like that she wrote that she was excited for the news that Quad Cities has been chosen to be the charity partner of the inaugural Quad Cities Corporate Games, and you know, she's been working with CTC for a long time. She's a board member, and Chuck Long is the CEO and executive director of the Iowa Sports Foundation. So their mission is to promote health and wellness and provide sports and recreation opportunities for people of all abilities throughout the state of Iowa. The Corporate Games is one of 5 pillars of the Iowa Sports Foundation. The Des Moines Corporate Games and the Corridor Corporate Games, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area, have been well received over the past few years, and now they're moving here to the Quad Cities. So you can sign up for all this stuff. The Corporate Games is a company-based competition that offers over 20 sports events and challenges throughout the Quad Cities starting June 1st and July 31st. It's open to any company, government agency, or department in the Quad Cities area. Participation is for regular employees, full and part-time, interns, and retirees. The company Invest covers all costs associated with the Corporate Games. So these will be taken all over the Quad Cities, but I'm glad you mentioned it. What games, T-Roy?
Yeah,
what
like,
events?
I mean, are we playing Mr. Limmywinks, or what are we playing?
There is a bags tournament.
Okay.
There's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
All right.
There's just a basketball shooting one, which I would assume it's just like hit this many threes in a matter of time. I mean, I could look it up for you, but I'm just going down the list. There's bocce ball. There's bowling.
Okay.
There's a burst your thirst challenge. It's about how much water you drink and how much exercise you do.
Okay.
It's not what we thought. There is a disc golf. There is dodgeball. There is a golf 4-person best shot.
All right. So
There's
this is all to be held at different times then, throughout the year.
There's a pickleball.
Okay.
There's a sand volleyball.
All right.
There's a scavenger hunt.
All right.
Spike ball.
What's spike ball?
It's like this thing. It's I don't know. It's a little bit like volleyball, but a little bit like Foursquare type of thing. Like there's it's almost like a trampoline thing, and you nail a ball down to it, and you go back and forth.
Yeah. Play it on the beach a lot.
There you go. There's a lot of virtual stuff. Like, whoa, how is this? Listen, this is right up my alley. We need to some company needs to hire me for this. This is a Name That Tune virtual trivia.
Oh.
The day of the event, the Zoom link will be made available on this page. Companies can have
one of
anywhere.
These events, I can form a team to win every one of these.
Yeah, companies can have anywhere from 1 to 10 people on their team. Please view the rules above in the trivia tip sheet. So it's a virtual Name That Tune. I'm pretty good at Name That Tune.
I know somebody else is too.
Who?
Me.
Are you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're clues like give it away.
I know. I'm just saying. We can do this.
Yeah. There's a lot here.
We'll form our company as the Barmuda Triangle.
I think we should. I'm interested in the bags tournament.
What do we win every time we win?
I don't know. There's no roster limit or whatever else.
I mean, if it's a sandwich,
They have, but the teams must have 10
sandwiches.
you must have at least 2 to 10 participants each. I don't know what that means. I mean, there's a lot that we can do to register
trivia?
here. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll reach out to Angie and have her come in and explain more of this. But it just came across today, and I think it's interesting considering what our last year was like. I think it's important to get out there and be active and work with your company to do some of these fun things.
Yay.
Yay. All right, I got to...
Let's have some fun.
I know.
Are we calling our friend from Elite Sports?
I am. I just lost track of time here. I was too busy talking about the cool sports that we can do.
You get so excited.
I know. I think we're going to be great at the bags.
Well, I mean...
Disc golf, too.
Depends on if they bring in any ringers. But we could do that, too, if we need to.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that.
All right.
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
I mean, what's Fick going to do? Get the Mel Foster people to start practicing bags? I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Mel Foster.
Yeah, Fick, take that.
I'm not scared of them.
What if Pat gets the IH Mississippi Valley credit union people going?
There's no flag football.
Oh,
he has beaten me in horse twice, so he can do.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're screwed if we're playing bad. You're not on the.
We're bringing an AC Earl to play in our 3-3 basketball.
By the way, you're not on the basketball team, Jack. What? I'm just saying.
Jake?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. How was your Super Bowl weekend?
Well, our predictions came true, so that's good. How did you guys? You guys had to fare pretty well, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week overall for us, so can't complain there.
Yeah, because I would assume most people were kind of geographically biased. Most people were on Kansas City, and then the people still not so much geographically biased wanted to give up the points and take the favorite. So I think it was. I mean, I've seen the numbers from New Jersey all the way to Nevada, and Illinois as well, and how the sports books came through. So congratulations to you guys. You made some money this weekend.
Yeah, it's surprising to see how many people bet the Bucks money line, though. So it's interesting too. The Super Bowl, it's a high turnover weekend. The margins are actually pretty slim with all the prop bets offered, as the margins are pretty slim on those props in general. But yeah, it was a great weekend all around for the sports book, and we liked what we saw with turnover and activity on the site. So no complaints.
Yeah, and you guys had tons of prop bets. It was awesome to take a look at. I tagged you guys in a blog or post that I did for ESPN1170am.com when I gave 6 prop bets that I love that you guys were allowing people to gamble on. So, but I'm looking now. Yeah, look at this. You guys already have your 2022 Pro Football Championship odds up, or who to win the division.
I think they were launched on Monday, actually, right after the Super Bowl. So,
let's take a look here.
The risk team's on their game.
I love it. That's important. All right, in the NFC, so see the Buccaneers are the favorites to win the 2022 NFC Championship. Then it's the Packers, then the Rams, then the 49ers, Saints, Seahawks, Cowboys, Cardinals, then the Bears. The Washington football team, but the Bears are 20-1 to win the NFC Championship. Your Cowboys team are 12-1.
All right.
According to Elite Sportsbook. So Tampa Bay is the favorite to win that according to Elite Sportsbook. And go to EliteSportsbook.com. You can find this. The Chiefs are the favorite to win, then the Bills, the Ravens, the Browns. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm interested in, do you think, T-Ray, you think the Chargers can make a splash and do something in the AFC West? Or are they still a few years out?
They're still out. I mean, they might make the playoffs, but I don't foresee them toppling the Chiefs unless somebody has to get injured.
Gotcha. Now, like I said, you guys, if you go to the EliteSportsbook.com, where Jake is always working hard to do promotions for you, you guys can find promotions all over the place, like the new sign-up bonus, a 100% risk-free bet up to $500. There's progressive parlays. This is my favorite part to tell everyone. Just go navigate the site, right, Jake?
Exactly. Yep. We've also got some Daytona 500 promotions going live on the site today. The site-wide offer for everyone. If you bet at least 5 head-to-head matchups, we'll give you a $25 free bet back. So just a chance to get in on some Daytona head-to-head matchups and give those a try if you've never done before. The minimum on those, I think, is $1. So you can throw some money in and give it a try, and we'll give you a little bonus back.
And that's going up later on today?
Yep, that'll be up between now and early afternoon. So I know the head-to-head matchups went up this morning, and then the promo will go live on the site soon.
So when you say head-to-head matchup, that just means like who's going to finish best? Let's say like you guys just threw out like Denny Hamlin versus Ryan Newman. Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the risk team puts together some predetermined matchups of racers and gives them some odds against each other. So if you go to the racing tab and then go find the Daytona 500, it should be under there. I think it's H2H or head-to-head. It's what it's labeled as. And then you can see kind of the predetermined matchups that they have on there. So if you just bet 5 different ones, you'll get a $25 free bet.
Gotcha. Well, that's fantastic. You guys are always coming up with new things.
Yeah, they do the same with golf, too. So if you ever... if you're big into betting golf, they'll have the same. I call them prop bets, but I'm not sure if they're actually qualified as prop bets. But they'll have the same for golf as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the golf one. I just don't. Who are they? Where are they playing at this week?
Oh,
it's not the
Waste Management was last
week. I don't know. Is Pebble Beach Pro-Am going on right now? I mean, I'm on the site right now, Jake, and I can see the Masters and the PGA Championship, British Open. I just haven't seen anything. Who knows? But they're golfing today.
It's got to be Hawaii, right?
I don't know. I'm not that good at golf.
Could be the Mexican Open too.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what it is right now. It's maybe it's somewhere. No, it could be down in Florida too.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to remember because coming up you'll have right before the Masters. This is generally speaking. Right before the Masters, they play that tournament in Austin, Texas, I believe.
Okay.
Where you can see the bridge in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably some sort of oil company, or I can't even remember what it is now. It's Texas, obviously. And then they do the Masters, and then after the Masters, they play up in South Carolina. So, like I said, the Masters is April. So, I mean, all those are coming up, but this early ones right now, I mean, it's just they're going to be playing more like places in Southern California or Hawaii or even in Southern Florida.
And then you guys, Jake, have UFC coming up this weekend?
Yep. So we're not showing the fight this weekend at Rhythm. Valentine's Day weekend. It's kind of a busy time with that. So they've decided to have some live music in the Shell Lounge instead. But yeah, the UFC lines are up on the site, so you can still bet online and check that out. So that's no problem there. But we're looking forward to March 6th having UFC 259 back in the Rhythm Room.
Yeah. So again, you can go to the site and find it on there, as well as the other things you're looking at. I mean, any type of futures that you have, as far as like MLB to go that route, you can go as well. Let's see what you have up here. You have the White Sox favorite to win the AL Central. The Twins the second favorite after that. Then the Indians and the Kansas City Royals, Detroit Tigers, in the NL Central. You have the Cardinals favored to win 1-1 odds, and the Brewers, then the Cubs at 9-2. But again, navigating the site is the most important thing. If you guys are into betting futures, this is definitely the place to go. I know ACRO likes to bet the futures, whatever else. You have someone like me who just wants the automatic thing. I just want the payout to be right now. But
you don't have the patience.
Don't have the patience, but I mean, need to make some type of wagers or whatever else. So. Yeah.
For sure. Also, too, I know this is kind of new and it's been highly anticipated, but just kind of a side note, what we've been working on through the Super Bowl and up to this point, if you go online, you're able to sign up from anywhere in Iowa. You don't have to go on property of Ribbon City anymore. So you can just go to that Join Now button on the page, and you can sign up. You just need a government-issued ID, and you have to be 21 plus and not on the self-exclusion list in Iowa. But you'll be able to be eligible as a new sign-up for that $500 risk-free bet. So
you do not have to be on premise.
Games approaching, you got a $500 risk-free bet, at least on Iowa.
Yeah, so you do not have to be on premise.
Nope. That it just launched a couple days ago. We kind of did a soft launch just to see the sign-ups trickle in before an announcement. So this is the second place we've really announced it. Haven't even put out a press release yet or anything. So go ahead and give it a try if you're in the Quad Cities or Quad City area and don't feel like driving in. You can even sign up from Illinois and fund from Illinois, but you'll have to come over to Iowa to place your bet.
Yeah, because of our geofencing. That's right. Well, that's great. And anything else going up here? Like, like I said, go navigate the site. If you're in the NHL, they've got NHL bets that you can do on. They've got all NCAA men's basketball.
Where do they got the
NBA.
Padres at?
Where do they have the Padres at? That's a great question. Let's see, futures. We'll go. Let's see, NL West. Well, they're 2-1
to win the West.
Yeah, Dodgers are heavy favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then the Giants 35-1, the Diamondbacks 50-1, and Colorado Rockies 50-1. So Padres probably squeaking in there to be a playoff team, but yeah, that's what they have that. Jake, anything else for us, my man?
Just follow us on social media at Elite Sportsbook. Always giving away fun prizes there. So make sure to follow along. And with all of our big announcements coming up here, the app is just around the corner too. So check our social for a timeline on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, my man.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Stay warm. Talk to you soon. Okay. All right. That's Jake from Elite Sportsbook. Go ahead and check that out, EliteSportsbook.com. Like you said, you can sign up. You don't have to be on premise anymore. Just got to have that government issued ID, and they'll take the picture, all that fun stuff. It's not too hard to sign up and to get all that stuff taken care of. We're gonna have to take our second break of the hour. When we come back, we'll talk more sports, and then at the beginning of the second hour of the show, we'll have Tom Kakert in from Hawkeye Report.
All right, Quad Cities, you can just stop going to social media asking everybody what you're going to do for a tattoo or maybe even grabbing some lunch. Just grab your Locals Love Us guide instead. It has an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find what you're looking for, or use your smartphone and log into localsloveus.com. You click on Quad Cities and then you browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you. Those are our friends from Locals Love Us. They're your guide to the best.
The Rock says he's gonna make your Rudy Poo candy ass famous.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Merrick Brave from SCW Pro, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Oh man, here we go again. Up early, feed the dog, out the door, traffic, at the office, boss in some kind of mood today, no time for lunch, annoying coworker, no time to relax, bedtime. Then we gotta do it all again? No way. Because the best way to break up the mundane every day is to play at Wild Rose Casino and Resort. Slots, tables, sports, and a whole lot of perks when you join and play with your Club Wild card. So, let's play. Wild Rose Casino and Resort, Clinton.
A city named for a congressman. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment. The county courthouse is the center of attention in towns small and large throughout our state. Celebrated photographer Michael Harker chronicles our iconic Iowa courthouses in an award-winning collection of striking photographs, now available for the first time at a discounted price. Get one of the last remaining copies of the book Harker's Courthouses today at totallyiowa.com. Pomeroy is located in Calhoun County in northwest Iowa. The town of 662 residents was almost wiped off the map in 1893 when a devastating tornado struck the town. But the spirit of the people prevailed, and the town was rebuilt. That resilient spirit is fitting and reminds one of the man for whom the town was named. Charles W. Pomeroy was born in Connecticut and studied and practiced law there. At the age of 30, he moved to Iowa, settling in what was then Boonesboro in Boone County. He pursued agriculture as well as law, and then got interested in politics. He was one of the earliest members of the Republican Party and one of Iowa's electors in 1860, casting a vote in the Electoral College for President Abraham Lincoln. Then Mr. Pomeroy went to Washington as a member of Congress from Iowa's 6th District. The district at the time covered the northwestern third of the state, extending from the Missouri River as far east as Waterloo and from the Minnesota border as far south as Marshalltown. He lost his bid for renomination 2 years later and took on yet another career, this one as a claim agent in Washington, D.C., a position he held for the last 20 years of his life. A new Calhoun County town was platted in 1870 and named Pomeroy after the town's first congressman, who died on this date in 1891. And that's Iowa Almanac for February 11th. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Stein.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
If you're Dak Prescott, do you believe in the management of the Cowboys? Do you believe they can help you to win a Super Bowl? I personally don't know if I believe that in Dallas. If I'm Dak, I want to hold them hostage. I not only want my money, I not only want the years I get, but if I don't get that, then franchise tag me for another year. Pay me my $38, $39 million and let my proof be on the field. I know he just had an injury, and I know that's a gamble for a guy like Dak Prescott, but then I'm thinking about, can I go to a scenario like San Francisco? Like, what's going to happen with Jimmy G? But Kyle Shanahan, that defense, that can help me win a Super Bowl a lot quicker. Can I go to a situation like a New Orleans? Drew Brees is going to retire. That defense is intact. I have weapons. I know what's there.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Get the most earned income credit with AmeriFile. Don't do your own taxes this year. With COVID relief, tax refunds could be at record levels. It's incredible. AmeriFile's tax preparers will compare last year's income with this year's income and select the one that gets you the most earned income credit. Repeat, AmeriFile gets you the most earned income credit guaranteed. Call AmeriFile 762-8087. Don't do your own taxes. This is not a normal tax year. AmeriFile. With the CARES Act, stimulus recovery credit, and new earned income tax calculation, you'll get the most refund with AmeriFile. Switch from doing your own taxes with TurboTax, and AmeriFile prepares your federal and state taxes for only $45 to $89. Drop off your tax stuff at AmeriFile's drive-through windows in both Moline and Davenport for contactless tax prep. Call 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com. TurboTax is a registered trademark, and pricing may not include non-common forms such as Schedule C, E, and F. See AmeriFile.com for details.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Trevor Lawrence should be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Take it or shake it.
Shake it!
Shake it!
And the reason I say shake it is because we got to still do due diligence, man. We can't just assume that somebody's the number one overall pick. If I had to take a pick right now, I'd probably take Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields a lot.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Sign up to be an ESPN Insider.
This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
We are back there, Hasslemaniacs. Welcome to Don't Hassle So Local, AM 1170. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook land as well.
Yeah, we got a lot going on now. It's weird, but you have to be ready for it. Like, now the post season is starting for the local Iowa wrestlers, and I get to do the whole run around again of I during the break I was trying to look at old emails to try to figure this out. So what happens is you have to apply for media credentials to cover the state wrestling tournament, but the Iowa High School Sports Network thinks you're trying to do like radio because we're ESPN 1170, so they want to like charge you a ridiculous amount of money. They think you're on Radio Row. That's not what we want. I would rather be there to interview the kids or whatever else, make some content, put them on Facebook Live, write about it later, and whatnot. This is now my third year doing this, whatever else, and it's not an easy task because Iowa High School Sports Network, like, it's not. I have to go to the Iowa High School Athletic Association and just come up with media, and then they'll send me off to the Iowa High School Sports Network, and I have to do this over and over again where I'm like, no, we don't want Radio Row. We just want to be there to interview the kids afterwards.
Can't you, so then who do you have to go? Then they send you back to the...
Yeah, they'll send me back forth, and eventually...
So one of the first time, why don't you say, listen, we do not want Radio Row.
I did it. I did it last year. I didn't. Yeah, they still were like, oh yeah, they don't understand what I'm trying to get to, but
maybe you can contact the same person again so they understand.
Yeah, well, I will definitely do that. So, and then I mean, basketball's right around the corner too, where they're going to start their postseason stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go with all that. But yeah, Assumption punched their way to Downport. Assumption punched their way to the state duels, and Bettendorf did as well. So, good for them, and I like when I see our schools from the Eastern Iowa doing well, and so it makes me happy to see that to even go up there. If I just to have the opportunity to go if I want to is a big deal. So, yeah.
Well, you're if anything, you're big time media, Jay.
If anything, I am. Yeah, I'm trying to get there, but I feel like it.
I think you are.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, like, I don't know how many times we can beat the horse and just say we're one of 4 talk shows in the area. And now it's just sports or whatever else.
Nobody listens.
No. Well, they listen.
I mean, listen to us.
They don't listen a lot. Yeah, they don't listen
they
when we
don't
listen when we brag.
Yeah,
about
no.
it, you know.
Why would they?
Doesn't matter how many times that we're on the, Locals Love Us guide.
Yeah. Jeez. Chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Get us to the top. You're supposed to be rigging the selection for us. Come on. Just pretend we're, a politician.
Okay.
I don't get it. Jane, I could be White Walkers.
I can't believe you're really big into this. That's great. That you're big into the Game of Thrones.
I'm glad that I waited till now to do it, too.
Huh?
I'm glad I waited. I would have been so mad, like, having to wait every week to watch an episode.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's the way it gets, though, is that there is no more, and I've said it over and over again, there's no more really appointment television much anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I get why. I mean, people just want to consume at their own rate.
I know, but then they yell at people for other things. So, speaking of yelling at people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we talked about that the Dallas Mavericks are not playing the national anthem before games.
Oh, yeah.
And the NBA said, though, it's your priority. You can do whatever you want before the games start. And then the NBA came after our show was over with yesterday and said, nope. The anthem must be played in quote-unquote keeping with long-standing policy.
Well, you heard that some idiot on Good Morning America is trying to say it's a racist song. There is some sort of, I guess there's a third verse that's racist or something. I don't know. I never heard it in my life, so I don't know. And if it is, it is. I guess that's why it's not allowed. But anyway, and then they brought up the fact that Scott Key was a slave owner.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
Was it Francis?
Yeah, Francis Scott Key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, come on. If we're going to hold anybody from previous centuries accountable to today's standards,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just won't learn about history. I mean, are we going to learn about anything that's happened? I mean, I'm not saying that it was right by any means, but good God. I mean, when do you draw the line?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Like, all right, I get it. Like, yeah, that wasn't cool. And there is a bad verse to the song, I guess. Or the poem, I should say. It was a poem, wasn't it, originally? And then it was set to music?
Yeah.
So someone took the first part of the poem, which was good and made it into a song that made our national anthem.
Almost a century later, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with it. I just know that that's our national anthem. And I'm not digging up a third, fourth verse to find out what it is. Because that's not what we're singing.
Okay. The Star Spangled Banner, originally called the Defensive Fort McHenry, has more than one verse. The second half of the third verse ends like this. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and home of the brave. So, going on in this article by the Washington Post, which was published in October of 2020, it said these lyrics are a clear reference to the colonial Marines, according to Jefferson Morley, author of Snowstorm in August, Washington City, Francis Scott Key, and the Forgotten Race Riot of 1835. They are clearly meant to scorn and threaten African Americans who took the British up on their offer, he wrote in a recent essay for the Washington Post. Key surely knew about colonial Marines, and it's even possible he saw them among the contingent of British ships that sailed into Baltimore Harbor.
Read it again.
Basically, what it is the
read the verse again, could you?
No refuge could save the hireling and slave.
The hireling.
So someone getting hired to be a part of the, someone hired to join the British.
Okay.
From the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave, and the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and home of the brave. It's worth looking into that if people want to get into it. Like, again, I'm not going to change history.
Hireling. Like a wildling? Hireling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It goes on to say this in the Washington Post, and even if these lyrics aren't meant to be explicitly racist, Key clearly was. He descended from a wealthy plantation family and enslaved people. He spoke of black people as a distinct and inferior race and supported emancipating the enslaved only if they were immediately shipped to Africa. Jeez, well, that's not good. I'm sorry. I don't know why I forgot Scott Key. Maybe he just should have just wrote his thing and moved on. He didn't need to really come on.
It said, read that, a hireling.
Hireling or slave. No refuge could save the hireling and slave.
And like A&D?
A&D, yep.
Well, hireling is someone that's doing a job solely for the money.
So that's someone who's probably got
so
the
no
job.
refuge should save a hireling
and slave, yeah.
And slave. So maybe they were slaves that were fighting for the British?
Yes, there was a...
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm just looking it up, man. Anyway, that's not part of the national anthem.
No, not that we know of. It's part of the poem, but hey,
Hi, Tom.
Yeah, Cake's here. We're always walking in at the best times.
A little shaking cake. He's got a beautiful hat on, though.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, the Star-Spangled Banner.
The
the NBA.
And oh my God.
The NBA was like, you can do whatever you want. You're allowed to do anything you want to pregame. And Cuban's like, yeah, we don't do it. We don't do the national anthem. And then yesterday afternoon, the NBA is like, no, you guys are doing the national anthem. Like, I don't know why they changed their whole thing about it.
It's weird.
It is weird.
I think they just want to avoid controversy.
Okay. And that's what we were just kind of talking about, because he said someone was on Good Morning America talking about how it's a racist song and whatnot. And, I've never done into
they
lyrics.
had a racist verse, and then it said that Francis Scott Key was a known slave owner.
So anyway,
so was everyone at that.
Pretty much.
That's what I said. I said, if we're going to hold people from 200 years ago to the standards of today, I mean, when does it stop? I mean, I understand it's not good.
Yeah.
No one's saying that it was good that he was a slave owner, but we
do you want to know my hot take on the national anthem?
Sure. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
My hot take has always been, why do we do it at sporting events? I get it, but I'm like, the pageantry and everything, but I'm like, what do you go to a ball game for?
It started in World War I.
Beer and hot dogs?
Yeah. Started in World War I, didn't
game,
become a
right?
national.
You're not there to like feel. It's not like a thing where you go to feel like patriotic.
But that's when it became like the NFL.
They were trying to rally.
Yeah, the NFL.
They were trying to rally people during wartime and everything, and I get it.
Started during World War I, didn't become the national anthem until 1931, and then during the World War II, the NFL said that it was going to be played before every game.
And I've seen some great renditions of national anthem at like Carver Hawkeye and stuff. There was a guy recently that played the cello and did it. It was fantastic. I've seen people
I got
violin.
an answer to your question, I think, Tom. And I think it's probably a good answer because how about this? They do it at the beginning of the game, and maybe it started for whatever reasons, but I think it continued.
Yeah, it's tradition.
As a tradition, but in the same light, saying, hey, we're here playing a game, but let's just not forget that a lot of people sacrifice for us to be able to have these freedoms, to just be able to be here to play this game.
Sure.
And I think maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it's come to mean to most people. And I think now it's just like we are in society now that all we want to do is argue.
Yeah, now it's
I mean, if you look at our ESPN, it's a constant TV shows of two guys or two girls or whatever arguing.
Now it's become a wedge issue.
Yeah. I mean,
either way,
you can't have a healthy debate with anyone.
Either way,
on anything, even if you're talking sports. Sometimes,
and I'm like, I'm going to an Iowa football game this year to cover it, and I spend my time before the game when they're doing. If I was going to be out there for the national anthem or not, and how many guys were kneeling, and who was standing, and who had.
Right.
I didn't get into this. I'm covering a football game.
I mean, and think about this too, Tom. How many times do you just get people...
And then you're judging people based on their actions. If this guy doesn't take a knee, well, what is he saying? Or if this guy does take a knee, well, what is he saying?
Yeah.
We had to talk to... I'm sure we'll talk about it today, about Mark Kallenberger.
Yeah.
Mark took a knee.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was one of the few... probably I think maybe two white players on the Iowa football team that took a knee this year. We had to talk to him about it. I asked him about it during the year, and it's just I just want to take it. People go to football games to watch football. People go to basketball games to watch basketball. I'm almost wondering if we've gotten to the point where the national anthem has outlived its usefulness at these games. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely somehow been made a distraction.
But if you take it away, then you're going to be like, oh, why do you hate America?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It was made a distraction.
I don't think it would bother me either way if I was at an event. I don't think it wouldn't.
We're 5, almost 6 years. We might be almost 7 years into this.
Hey, today
since we've been talking about it.
By the way, today Matt Randazzo and I did do a podcast this morning.
Oh yeah,
during Zoom, and it was weird. Dazzle kept disappearing, sort of like Jay's doing right now.
Yeah,
he just kept disappearing.
Was
on
it
me.
because he's sad that his
I don't know what he was
traded?
What he was doing. He was running to another room, gone about 30 seconds, and then he would pop back up. What do you think's going on there?
Maybe he had digestive issues.
I don't know.
So you brought up Kallenberger, and that is one of the biggest questions I have for you today.
Yes.
So what? What would have you been able to talk to him? What was behind the decision?
Have not talked to him. I was surprised because he was going to be a fifth-year senior, and a starter at a glamour position. Left tackle at Iowa is like a ticket to the NFL, and at least an opportunity to play at the highest level if you want to. And he walked away. It's like,
do you think he's done with football?
He said he was.
I mean,
so he's going to
professionally
graduate
as well?
Yeah, I think he's just going to graduate. I don't know that he's going to even pursue that. It sounds like he just wants to move on with his life.
All right.
Which is good enough for me.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm just curious as to, he definitely has options. I mean, he got a degree, right? He's a smart kid.
One of the first things that kind of came to mind too for me, again, have not talked to Mark. I look forward to talking to Mark, but what happened with his brother last year at Iowa, maybe if that factored into it, that maybe he's just kind of like done, doesn't like the football thing anymore. I don't know. That was one of the first things that came to mind to me, at least. So
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean,
we got Mr. Bettendorf here.
What's that?
Jay?
Mr. Bettendorf is here.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
I don't. Have you heard anything?
No, not at all. It was more just.
I just saw it on Twitter from
Yeah.
you. And then I would go to Jay. I said, "What's this?" And he goes, "I didn't hear about it." And
I heard about it, but I didn't get any information or anything. What about, since we're talking about Mr. Bettendorf, what's going on yesterday with the message boards and Drinkle?
I'm throwing his name out there.
Are you doing this?
Yes.
You started.
Are you recklessly speculating?
No, I think he'd be a great hire. I know that Drinkle was one of the candidates for the Wyoming job that Tim Polasek got.
He was.
In fact, if Tim didn't take the job, Matt was going to Wyoming.
He was.
And I also am well aware that Matt would love to come back to Iowa City, Iowa.
He would.
So you're shaking it up, Kate.
Yeah. Did you
That's
talk to
great.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
But
I was getting messages from my buddies that are just like, what's going on with Drinkle? So I just messaged him. I'm like, hey, man, you're blowing up message boards.
Well, people are like, would he take it? And I'm like, dude would be in the first plane out and he'd be working his ass off the next day.
Well, it's fine to say it because I don't feel as...
And he's got a history at Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, he worked there. You know, he was there for a little bit doing stuff. And
there was speculation that when Lovey was out at Illinois...
Yeah, that Jeff Mockin was going to take that job and that Matt was coming with him.
Yep. It didn't work out that way, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yesterday when Tim Polasek, the old offensive line coach for Iowa, he was rumored for the Montana State job a couple weeks ago. His name, he interviewed and everything, and you know, he didn't get that job. But obviously, Craig Bohl, the Wyoming coach, was the guy who hired him at North Dakota State. Picked him out of D3 obscurity at Wisconsin Stevens Point, and hired him as a grad assistant. Tim tells a really funny story about it. He was the D3 assistant coach and logger up in Wisconsin. He was logging when he was doing logs when Craig Bohl called him.
Keeps
what are you
you
doing?
in shape, Tom.
Doing logs.
Yeah.
He goes, what? What? Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a logger.
My wife would say I'm a logger too, but a different type.
Yeah.
Log a lot of time on the toilet.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
they
just
got a
clogging it up.
Yeah, or a clogger, yes.
Logger, clogger.
And then they got Derek Foster to...
Yeah. So Polasek leaves, and that's an important job at Iowa. The offensive line coach is really important. So it's going to be an important hire. I think you need a guy who's going to be able to go out and recruit too. That's why I thought Drinkle would be great, because he'd be passionate about it. He's a hard worker. I know he could teach the position. Plus, you've got Kirk and Brian there to help teach it as well. And he could recruit Eastern Iowa, Western Illinois. He's done that. So I just think he'd be he'd be here in a minute.
I think he's definitely, interested and passionate about it. If the phone call came, I think he would be. Yeah,
I think he just, he'd love to be interviewed. I think it'd be great. So I hope it works out. It'd be great to have him around here.
Well, I didn't know you were the one that was starting all this. Good for you.
Oh, it popped up on the message boards, and I was like, yeah. We were talking about him at lunch yesterday.
That's good.
So,
and then Derek Foster leaves. Interesting. There's always a link to when a guy leaves.
Chargers, right?
Yeah, to the Chargers. He was. They were both on the Tennessee staff. The new Chargers head coach and Derek Foster were on the Tennessee staff in 2012.
Okay.
And that's why. That's the linkage. That's because you're always like, well, what? How does he get here?
University of Tennessee or Tennessee Titans?
University of Tennessee.
Okay.
Now, did you
balls.
see where Chris Doyle landed?
Yes. I've kind of known about this for over a week.
Yeah.
But nobody could ever confirm anything, and they finally put it out there. Glad Chris is working. That's one of the places where he could go. He'd probably have to go to the NFL because college just was not going to work. He's at a place. Urban can do no wrong down there right now. You know, Urban could hire Attila the Hun, and he would be fine.
Urban has 4 picks in the first 45.
Yeah,
Urban's got a very good chance of turning that thing around instantly.
That's a young roster that you're going to want to build a great culture. And, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent about Chris and what he was accused of, Chris Doyle knows how to build a culture. So does Urban Meyer. And I think Chris is going to do great. He just needs another opportunity. And strength coaches in the NFL they're not as influential as they are in college. They're just not, because all the NFL guys have their own guy outside of there. This is my trainer. This is my workout guy. You know, that's who they go to mostly. But you can kind of work in the edges, and I think Chris will do great there. And I'm glad he's back and happy for him that he's getting another opportunity. He just needs another opportunity to get back out there.
Absolutely. Let's take our first break of the second hour. Come back. We'll talk to Cake some more about Iowa basketball, the March Madness, now that they got the schedule out, and how that's going to change what he's looking at, how Iowa basketball has been looking through his eyes. I know there's been a lot of people on social media giving them some trouble.
And Super Bowl thoughts as well.
Super Bowl thoughts. We get to hear about if he made any prop bets, and then also the Iowa wrestling team. So there's a lot to unpack here at Don't Hassle Us for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM.
Front Street Brewery is the oldest brew pub in Iowa, and it's been in Davenport since 1992, giving you great beers like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, and Jaybird's favorite, the popular Cherry Bomb Blonde.
That's right.
You can check out the Facebook page for their food and drink specials, and please visit their webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com for all upcoming events. That's Front Street Brewery, the restaurant, 208 East River Drive, and the tap room in the Flair House Complex.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody! You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, invites you to discover a brand new way to bet parlays. Introducing One Game Parlay, an exciting feature designed to help you make selections within a single game from over 400 bet types, including team and player props. Log into your BetMGM account and raise the stakes with One Game Parlay for a chance to win big. Making your same game win, total, and prop picks is always fast and easy with One Game Parlay. New to BetMGM? Sign up today and make every play of every game matter more than ever. You can make One Game Parlay bets on pro football, soccer, and NBA games with more sports coming soon. Go ahead and take your favorite player to score, the home team to cover, and the over in yards for the star running back. Big games are even bigger when you add a One Game Parlay into the mix. Log in today or download the BetMGM app to try One Game Parlay and turn game day into payday. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Good news for the Chiefs on Wednesday. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport tweeting, Patrick Mahomes' foot surgery went well, no issues at all. Meanwhile, Mahomes' counterpart Tom Brady and his fellow Buccaneers cut things loose with the Lombardi Trophy as they celebrated their Super Bowl 55 victory with a boat parade in Tampa Wednesday. Ravens offensive tackle Orlando Brown wants to be traded. Brown wants to only play left tackle and will only play for a team that will play him at that preferred spot. Two teams adding senior defensive assistants. The Vikings hired former Bengals and Raiders defensive coordinator Paul Gunther, who worked with Mike Zimmer for 6 years in Cincinnati. And the Bears hired Mike Pettin after spending 3 years as the Packers defensive coordinator. Projected number 1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence will throw for NFL teams tomorrow, and you can watch all the action on NFL Network starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
More time at home means more washing, drying, cooking, and cleaning at home, and more wear and tear on old appliances. But it's the perfect time to save on new ones at the Home Depot. For savings on the latest appliances, and right now, free delivery. From the kitchen to the laundry room, that upgrade is well within reach, and closer than ever. Save on top appliances, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. Free delivery on major appliances $396 or more, valid through February 24th.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I love getting fit and healthy at the YMCA. For a limited time, join us at the Y and get half off your joining fee. That's half off of the best value in fitness and feeling great. And it includes a ton of safety enhancements, unlimited virtual and in-person group exercise classes for all abilities, even your own coach to help you get started and create your own personal plan. Hurry, the YMCA half-off promotion ends on President's Day. Visit your YMCA today, online or in person, and we'll see you soon.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
If you're Dak Prescott, do you believe in the management of the Cowboys? Do you believe they can help you to win a Super Bowl? I personally don't know if I believe that in Dallas. If I'm Dak, I want to hold them hostage. I not only want my money, I not only want the years I get, but if I don't get that, then franchise tag me for another year. Pay me my $38, $39 million and let my proof be on the field. I know he just had an injury, and I know that's a gamble for a guy like Dak Prescott, but then I'm thinking about, can I go to a scenario like San Francisco? Like, what's going to happen with Jimmy G? For Kyle Shanahan, that defense, that can help me win a Super Bowl a lot quicker. Can I go to a situation like a New Orleans? Drew Brees is going to retire. That defense is intact. I have weapons. I know what's there.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Janae and Golick Jr.
The difference that a ring makes in a Hall of Fame campaign, like the one Phillip Rivers is going to get ready for, is seismic for me,
I don't
Janae.
like you. I don't like you right now.
Why is that?
I really don't like you. Because, I am 28 years old, professional athlete currently for the LA Sparks. And I come front every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to win a championship. It matters so much to me because I feel like, honestly, that's the only thing I haven't really done. I did it in high school, didn't get to do it in college. And then now at the professional level against the best of the best, that's awesome. But it's funny because it's graded on the scale of how much does a championship matter to that athlete, right? At some point, some people are just good with their legacy being pretty good and better than most. But, I just think it's funny because every time these things are sometimes subjective per the athlete. I would love it, but I'm still good regardless, but it would help.
Janae and Golick Jr., 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
Let's face it, winter driving is tough on everyone. So why not make it a little easier on yourself and your family with a brand new set of tires from Tyson's? Check with the tire specialists at Tyson's who can help you choose the perfect set of tires for your vehicle. From great brands like Cooper, Nexen, Continental, General, and more. Shop today and save while taking on old man winter this season. Tyson's, home, farm, auto.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170, KBOB Davenport.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Tom Kickert in studio here today.
So, Tom, how did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
I was on the wrong side, but I was on the right side of the over-under. So, and I had put more on the over-under.
Listen to the show, Tom.
I had the under.
We would have told you.
You did take the under? Yeah, I was back and forth on that whole thing. I felt the under, but then when I was doing the math in my head about what I thought the final score was going to be, I was like, it's over. And then That
You
and
just
the
don't
punt.
think the Chiefs are going to get held to 9 points.
And the number of punts in a game.
Yeah,
that frustrated me.
my prop bets. A lot of them were like Chiefs guys.
Mhm.
So, and they did just the opposite. Like I thought the Edwards-Helaire would not do a whole lot, but I thought maybe like a Nicole Hardman or somebody like that would catch a pass or two and go past 30 yards, and both those things were wrong. And then the other one, the one that burned me the most really was I bet, and it was like -1.5 or -2.5 more points in the second half than the first half. Because you figure Brady kind of starts slow.
That would make sense, yeah.
You know, and then both teams just kind of settle in and fire in the second half. It was just the opposite. I still think the pass by Mahomes where he's falling down is the most incredible pass I've ever seen a quarterback make.
Yeah.
40 yards. And he hit the guy right in the face mask.
It was pretty ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
He's okay. I mean, they've got a pretty good contract with him. It doesn't really hit cap space for a while. When I signed a 10-year deal through 2031,
Doesn't matter as long as you've got him. You got a chance.
Well, that's what we said. As long as you've got him, then you're probably within the tier of 6, and that's what you need to be at. The one that is almost guaranteed you to get you this championship game every year. He should be a lock right now. The Chiefs should be a lock to be in the AFC Championship next year.
Yeah.
And so that's really what you need to be at. It's not. It's hard to repeat because the last time was a repeat was the 04 Patriots.
04 Patriots.
So yeah, it's hard to repeat, but you got to get yourself in that situation. You know, you look at the Rams from 2 years ago, and then they didn't make it. Now they didn't even make the playoffs. 49ers, runners-up last year, didn't make the playoffs. It's not easy to do.
Super Bowl hangover, baby.
That's right.
For
But
the
I don't think it's
Patriots
gonna
to
happen.
lose one and then come back the next year and win it, huge.
Yep. No, I thought it was a good game, though, even though some people consider a blowout. The ratings are down.
Yeah.
The worst it's been in 15 years.
All sports ratings are down. It's weird. Pandemic, you'd think people are inside, but they're just, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird going to games.
Yeah, it is
Well,
a
I
little
think
weird.
for a lot of people, and not to simplify it in a Leah way, and I don't think it's necessarily all politics. I think it's more or less people look at it and they see these guys are still making a crap ton of money to play a sport, and they've either been put out of work, not been able to go to work normally, whatever it is, and they're like, and they're just not interested in hearing the athletic story, anymore. I think they're just like, I'm over it.
I thought that perhaps people would want a distraction.
Yeah, and I would think that too, but
from all the depression of being cooped up in a pandemic, and you remember how we were all just sort of like, yeah, sports are going to be coming back over the summer, and everybody was excited for it, and then
but it didn't come back the way it didn't come back to normal. How about that?
I think people maybe miss some of the pageantry, the crowds, all that, the thing I'd worry about if I were any sports league is that people have just gotten comfortable watching in front of a 60-inch high-definition screen where they don't have to wait in a line for a bathroom break, don't have to go pee in a trough,
Yep.
or wait in line for a beer.
Pour their own drinks.
They could just walk to their fridge and sit down, and it doesn't cost them. You're taking to go to an NFL game. If you're taking 3 people, 4 people, I mean that's like $1,000 probably.
Well, just to say you're taking 3.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you get the cheapest ticket in the arena during a regular season game, you're probably paying $100 a ticket, right?
Yeah. If you're somebody from around here, you're probably maybe you're getting a hotel room. You're got food. Your travel costs.
So you got 100 times 3, and then a hotel room. You're going to stay at least a couple nights.
Yeah, $200.
So you're probably at $200 a night times 2.
Yeah.
You got to eat. You got to eat both those times. Okay, so you're feeding 3 people for 2 full days.
Well, hell, just eating at the stadium is $100.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're at least $200 on food both days.
Yeah, you're just
all right, and then you got booze. Now, if you're me, That is
a lot of money.
$200 for a day.
Yeah, if you're
I'll
going
just say
to
it's $100
if you're going to an NFL game and you're buying $15 beers.
Let's just say it's $100 for a day.
$10 beers.
Yeah.
Let's just even say $10 beers.
And then just throw on miscellaneous. You got to get an Uber or whatever else. We'll just add another
Parking,
$100.
$40 to park.
All right, so we got $300. You got $600. You got $400.
It's $2,000.
You are $1,500, Tom.
Does this worry you at all about
For 3 people for 2 days?
I would be worried
youth
if
participation in sports? Like, what is this going to affect later on? I mean, because I'm looking at a thing here that only 38% of kids aged 6 to 12 played team sports on a regular basis in 2018, down from 45% in 2008. But the other thing is this: 3 out of 10 kids who played a sport prior to the pandemic are no longer interested in participating, according to an October survey conducted by the Espn Institute.
Yeah, I have a 16-year-old at home who is playing video games.
Mm-hmm. Is that where the women instinctively flock like the salmon to Capistrano?
No.
He's playing video games.
So is that what he's doing? And like, is he like?
Don't know if he's going to play soccer. That was like his last sport.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know.
But is he playing like online with other kids, or is he just playing like the games just like
with
like
other people?
Is
people.
he?
Yeah.
Is he doing any of those ones that they have like big money tournaments for?
I don't know.
I forget what they're called. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what he's playing. I don't know that I
Way
want
to go,
know.
Dad.
Well, don't it could be a little different. It could be like Randazzo, and you're just playing with yourself. So.
Hey.
Do you hear anything from the basketball team, the Iowa basketball players, talking about playing without fans in the stands?
It's different. Yeah, some of them have talked a little bit about it, just that it's different. You have to bring your own energy, and some of those bench guys have to really be loud. And one of the fun things is, I don't know if you noticed it in some of the games that you came to, but when Fran gets mad, they turn up the in-house music louder so we can't hear what Fran's saying.
Yep, except for the one time I told you guys that he really laid into him, and
there's F-bombs.
Then they finally, someone was late to the music.
They're like, hey, you see him down there going, hey, up, get that music going a little bit louder, so we can't hear Fran, because Fran doesn't like that. I thought they played pretty well last night. It helps when the team you're playing goes 1 of 15 to begin from 3.
Yeah,
I mean that makes life so much easier for Iowa. But I thought Joe Wieskamp played maybe his best game as a Hawkeye. 26 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. They were running sets for him. He was hitting everything. He is, last 6 games, 21 for 38 from 3. 55%.
He's on fire.
That is some shooting, and getting CJ Frederick back is just such a big difference. They were, they're now 16-6 in Big Ten games the last 2 years with Frederick in the starting lineup, and 3-8 without him. So even though he didn't score a point, he makes a difference. Just everybody plays a little easier. It helps that you've got another guy. CJ shoots 50% from 3 this year. So it's a guy that you can't double off of, just like Wieskamp can't double off him. Thought it was interesting. Connor McCaffrey only played like 14 minutes last night.
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting. Joe Toussaint, only 4 minutes. His minutes are dwindling.
Yeah.
A little more Aaron Eulis in the second half. So I wonder if Aaron Eulis is quietly becoming the backup point guard for Iowa. And but Fran feels comfortable with him. Toussaint just and now when he makes a mistake, he just comes out. That's pretty much how it's operating right
just
now.
As soon as it happens,
as soon as it happens, next trip down, there's a guy at the scores table.
See the doghouse?
I think that's probably fair to say. Fran will tolerate bad defense, but he won't tolerate bad offense. I guess. I don't know. Just saying.
The NCAA schedule has been posted.
Yes.
and I mean it'll change you up a little bit. But do you know at all like about you going there and whatnot?
They have not given any indications for the Big Ten tournament, which is going to be in Indianapolis as well at Lucas Oil, or the NCAA tournament. Whether I think they've given some kind of quiet indications that there will be media at the NCAA tournament, and I assume there's going to be media at Lucas Oil for the Big Ten. But we don't know what that's going to look like. It's interesting. I've jokingly said that maybe I should just get like an Airbnb for the month of March. I may be there for a while. I hope I'll be there for a while.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Just get rent a little apartment downtown for a month, and
you can find him. I did that for the Big Ten football championship 2015.
You did Airbnb? Yeah. Just a little loft or something down there, and
right above this little bar and grill type of thing, big bar and grill or whatever else. That's the night that Anger had a bunch of people come from Iowa, or whatever else. And
that was over at that. I was at that bar.
Were you
with the Eads?
Yeah,
with the Eads and a drunk Drew Tate.
Yeah. And wearing sweatpants.
Drufus. He's like. He saw me. He comes up to me. He goes, "Dude, I know you." And I said, "I know you too."
So we were there, and then my buddy wanted a picture with him, and he got a picture, and like right before the picture takes, he dike him and goes, "I like your sweatpants," and I was like, "What is wrong?"
You said that to Drew Tate?
Yeah, he's like about ready to pose with him, and he just goes, "I like your sweatpants." And so that was a time.
That beer was not very good at that place.
But they did something. They changed up. There was like a special, and then halfway through the night, they're like, we're not doing this special anymore. I don't know if it was like pitchers of beer or whatnot. I just remember we were like, what? And they changed.
That was a fun night, though.
It was a good night.
Drinking too much beer?
I think so, yeah.
That was the night that Iowa fans drank downtown Indy dry.
Yeah.
There was no beer left.
Yeah.
They literally drank every bar into submission.
And so that's also the night. So, like, my buddy John is married to Pete McMahon's sister.
Okay.
And so he's, like, in our group. And so at that time, then Pat was, like, walking by, and he's coming to say hi. So that's, like, my time to, like, be like, well, I know someone, too, in Iowa, here. So I'm like, hey, everybody. You guys know Pat Anger? They're like, yeah. And then Pat looks at me, and he goes, Foster, did you fart? And I was like, what? You can't do this like right now. I'm like the cool guy in this group. I just introduced everyone to Pat Anger. And that's all he had to say in the middle of the whole thing. And everyone's like, yeah, you probably did. I didn't fart. So weird.
That's so great.
But that's my Indianapolis story. But I think it's going to be, well, the thing about the March Madness though is because it's all over Indiana though.
Yeah, at least initially.
Yeah.
It's gonna narrow down very quickly. I mean, they're not going to be playing outside of Indy really after the first weekend.
The first weekend.
Yeah.
Do you think anything differently about the play-in games being on that Thursday instead of the first four instead of being on that Tuesday?
No, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They
really just pushed back a day. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they just wanted those, a little extra window for things and more viewers potentially. I'm going to be curious how the viewership for the NCAA tournament is. I think there'll be it might be one of the things that ramps up a little bit.
I was to say that would be the one if my theory holds right, Tom, that they're tired of the over pampered professional athlete that gets paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, but
they're gonna love the kids.
Yeah, but they didn't love the college football playoff. That was down too.
I can tell you why.
Because of Alabama? Because
they're tired of watching the same 4 teams.
Same 4 teams play. I get that. I do. I get it.
How do you feel about Iowa basketball right now?
I think they're okay. I do. I don't think there's as much need for panic. I do think they need Frederick in the lineup to kind of reach that potential. So keeping him healthy is going to be important. And keeping.
What do you think? A 2 seed?
Saturday CBS is going. I think it's at 12:30. Maybe they do like what the college football playoff does. They do kind of but they only do it one time. And it's kind of like a mid-season. Here's our top 16 teams, our top 4 seeds in each region. Now they're going to do S-curve this year. There's no kind of moving things around. It's a true S-curve. So I suspect that Iowa's probably going to be a 3 seed on Saturday. That's my guess, is that they'll end up being a 3 seed. Right now, this morning in the net rankings, which is the NCAA basketball ranking, there are 4 Big Ten teams in the top 8, with Iowa being 8th. You got Illinois,
Michigan,
Ohio State, Iowa. So that's pretty damn good that you have that much those teams.
Well, this is the strongest I think we've seen the Big Ten since the late 80s.
Yeah, it would be a surprise to me. Here's the thing, though. I think maybe the Final Four is going to end up being Gonzaga, Baylor, and 2 Big Ten teams.
I agree.
I think that's what it's going to end up being.
Funny, I predicted this as my 2021 bold predictions. Tom,
did you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well,
Final Four will be Iowa, Michigan, Baylor, and Gonzaga.
Yeah, that means yeah.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any bubble thing in there whatsoever that's out there, and ESPN isn't writing too much at all. Basically saying the same thing, that Frederick, they got to get involved, but after losing 4 games and 5 tries before the Rutgers game, kind of dropped down to all the way down to a 4 seed. That's just the ESPN one that they're saying right now, though. That's, again, it's just, I guess it's more important to get healthy and hot at the right time, not February. March is when you want to get it, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they're writing that ship. There's been no problems at all on the basketball team with COVID or anything, right?
No, they've been good. The wrestling team obviously had a little bit of an issue, and they're shut down for the time being. That was interesting. That release didn't give like a date to come back for the wrestling team.
Mm-mm. I just know last week it was Coach Brands, and then it just like the next day it turned into we're shutting it down.
Well, it was Caleb Young then on Saturday, and I think Caleb Young had traveled with them.
Okay.
So that was probably the concern, is that he was with all of his teammates.
Mm. Well, I mean, there are certain things that you got to do. You got to be smart about what you're doing out there. I mean, the NBA is working the best they can to make sure that it doesn't happen. And there's, I don't know, it's got to be tough. Like, this isn't, I guess, out of left field. Do they have like sports psychologists at the University of Iowa?
Yeah.
So don't you think like that right now they're almost like on on call all the time for these athletes? Because they've got to be going through some things, these athletes. I mean,
they've got people that they can talk to.
Okay. I mean, I know we talked about it over the summer when we were going through the whole problem with the race issues, but I just didn't know, like, dealing with COVID and, basically, I don't know how much are they trying to keep the kids in their dorm room alone? Are they trying to keep them traveling? Do they shelter them? NBA kind of shelters everybody. I just don't know what they're doing and how that can affect the kids. So
yeah, they're getting a lot of help, I think, if they want it, if people want it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the question, do they want that? And I think they do. And I think some guys have reached out. It is, that's why I always tell people, like people get on Bohannon all the time. Well, he's a Mr. Podcast and he's playing Fortnite. These guys are spending, 6-7 hours a day on basketball. They do the schoolwork and then they want some time, and they can't, it's not like they can go out to bars.
Yeah.
Or go out to dinner. They can't do any of those things. So what if he spends an hour on a podcast? Who cares?
Doesn't bother me one bit.
It's just
it kind of gets back to what we were talking about earlier. Everybody wants to complain and argue about something on the internet.
Do you think
maybe attack your article.
Do you think he's going to play better defense if he's not doing a podcast? No, he is what he is as a defender. It's just they like to take these just cheap shots at people for having a friggin' life out. I mean, I've had guys ripping Joe Wieskamp because he got engaged. Do you think he's the only guy in the team that's chasing tail?
Tom.
A college kid
engaged. I didn't know he got engaged.
Yeah.
They're saying like he's not focused.
Yeah, he's too busy. He and Mackenzie are planning a wedding, so he's too busy on that.
Yeah, people need to.
And I'm just like,
they've got too much time on their hands. If they're saying he's got too much time on their hands, they got too much time on their hands.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You're gonna rip it? Maybe it's ever since he's got a girlfriend.
Did anybody say that? Does anybody like say?
Do you think he's the only guy that's on the team that has a girlfriend?
All right.
Or the only athlete ever.
Okay.
And by the way,
are any of these people verified? Their accounts verified? Do they mean?
If that was the case, Tiger Woods wouldn't have been so dominant.
Go. Yeah.
Tiger was at his most dominant when he was chasing as much tail as possible.
So I'll have to debunk that theory right away.
Well, speaking of Twitter, let's take a break and come back and talk about the Chris Hassel thing that happened last week that everyone was up in arms about.
Oh, I'd love to.
All right. We'll be right back here. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us for local.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah!
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Play your game with the first bet risk-free, up to $500, only at Elite Sportsbook. Just sign up for a new Elite Sportsbook account and make your first bet online. If it is graded as a loss, we will match it with a free bet up to $500. Visit EliteSportsbook.com for a list of casino locations and sign up today. You will always be in the game with Elite Sportsbook. For a limited time only. Must be 21. Visit EliteSportsbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. Now, Town Square has new tools that can help your business stand out and grow today. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free local market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses in town are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too with Town Square. Plus, be one of the first business owners to sign up with Town Square and receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Start growing your business today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com. GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
A city named for a congressman. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment. The county courthouse is the center of attention in towns small and large throughout our state. Celebrated photographer Michael Harker chronicles our iconic Iowa courthouses in an award-winning collection of striking photographs, now available for the first time at a discounted price. Get one of the last remaining copies of the book Harker's Courthouses today at totallyiowa.com. Pomeroy is located in Calhoun County in northwest Iowa. The town of 662 residents was almost wiped off the map in 1893 when a devastating tornado struck the town. But the spirit of the people prevailed, and the town was rebuilt. That resilient spirit is fitting and reminds one of the man for whom the town was named. Charles W. Pomeroy was born in Connecticut and studied and practiced law there. At the age of 30, he moved to Iowa, settling in what was then Boonesboro in Boone County. He pursued agriculture as well as law, and then got interested in politics. He was one of the earliest members of the Republican Party and one of Iowa's electors in 1860, casting a vote in the Electoral College for President Abraham Lincoln. Then Mr. Pomeroy went to Washington as a member of Congress from Iowa's 6th District. The district at the time covered the northwestern third of the state, extending from the Missouri River as far east as Waterloo and from the Minnesota border as far south as Marshalltown. He lost his bid for renomination 2 years later and took on yet another career, this one as a claim agent in Washington, D.C., a position he held for the last 20 years of his life. A new Calhoun County town was platted in 1870 and named Pomeroy after the town's first congressman, who died on this date in 1891. And that's Iowa Almanac for February 11th. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Stein.
Hey, it's Mary, Terry, and Ellen here at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry. Now through Valentine's Day, receive free Lago Marcino's chocolate and an I Love You teddy bear with every purchase.
It's a great time of year to get engaged, so come in and check out our bridal collection starting at $500. And as always, we have interest-free financing available.
Celebrate Valentine's Day with a gift from Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry starting at $49. Stop by and experience the wow factor at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry, 2115 East 12th Street in the village of East Davenport.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Today, Angola Jr.
So I asked people, what's the kind of sports take where you almost want to say it like NBA players, where you cover your mouth at half court so no one can see what you're talking about when you say the thing you really want to talk about here. It's not slander to point out it's difficult for any one player to carry a basketball team right now. And saying that Steph Curry by himself is not capable of carrying a basketball team to championship heights, I don't think it's a slight. It's just a reality of how difficult it is to find the LeBron James caliber players who can drag a team by himself to a finals.
If you look at the situation, the reality is give him some more time. I agree with you. One player, it's going to be hard to lead a team. Giannis learned that last year. But now I feel like you have to give some time. He finally got Draymond Green back. He's going to get better shooting. And then, you shouldn't just put the cap on Steph Curry because all that conversation was a straight-up cap.
Janae Angola Jr., 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest sports news and join the conversation. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back, Hasslemaniacs, to Don't Hassle Us Local, AM 1170. Thanks for tuning in and out there in Facebook land as well.
I just told a funny story.
You did. Tom, we do have a couple questions out there on the Heritage Pub Facebook text thread from Eddie, the birthday boy, 50 today.
Eddie, happy birthday.
He wants to know your thoughts on players getting paid.
I think it's going to happen. I think it probably should happen. I think they deserve a piece of the pie, and if it gets us the NCAA football game back for video games, then great.
All right.
I think there's the train is out of the station. They're going to get and I also think that the amount of money that players are going to get is much less than people believe. It's not going to be this windfall of money that sure, some guy like a Trevor Lawrence would get a lot of money. I would have loved to have seen what Luka could get this year, but I just don't think it's going to be all that much money. Just knowing people that I know that deal with athletes after they get done with their eligibility and what they're paying them, you're not talking about a lot of money. It's not like they're going to be making millions of dollars, except, a Trevor Lawrence kind of guy or Bama players.
All right. From Erickson, he wants to know who you feel should be the starting five for the Hawkeye basketball.
If C.J. Frederick's healthy, the starting five is the starting five that you saw last night.
Which was
Bohannon, Connor, Luka, Joe Weezy, and Frederick.
The Blizzard.
Yeah.
The big old whiteout.
Yes.
That's what we like to call it.
Yes.
Me and my buddies on text thread. We have the big whiteout going.
And if Frederick can't go, I suggested last week
Murray
because I think Keegan is more impactful coming off the bench. I think he's more comfortable there. So I would start. But now he's out of favor, I guess. I threw out Joe Toussaint as a potential starter, just because it would take J-Bo off of handling the ball, and it would move him to the 2 guard where he can just worry about shooting, and it gives you a better defensive guard out there. to handle other point guards because J-Bo was getting beat a lot off the dribble by other point guards. So that was my suggestion, was Joe Toussaint.
Are you getting tired of the provided meals from the Carver Hawkeye Arena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a lot of turkey sandwiches.
Yeah. They're not that good.
Do I have to write somebody, Tom? They don't understand
I
you
don't
have
want to call out or whatever.
You have a culinary need?
No, here's the bottom line. You get what you pay for.
You ain't paying for it?
Yeah, that's true.
I could also go over to that. There's a concession stand there where I could go get something.
On the other way on the other side.
Chopper wants you to ask Fran what's going on with Joe T.
Joe T. Well, we'll talk to Fran tomorrow.
That's right, during your Zoom.
We got a Zoom at 11. So
what happened during that time that Chris Hassel was like, "This is not the way to treat your media," on Twitter when Fran was going? What happened?
Both times? You want to go into both times? The
Sure.
first one was Chad Leistico asked him a question, and it was about officiating. Fran cannot talk about officiating. If Fran talks negatively about officials, I don't think we're going to see Fran for a couple games because of his history. He's got a couple demerits on his thing from when he chased Steve McJunkins down the hallway in Columbus and was MFing him.
MFing.
Yeah, yeah. That's how he got 2 games off, and
just a break.
So he was being sarcastic, and Chad got it. We all got it. We understood it. I don't know why Chris Hassel got so exercised about that, and others in the national media got so exercised about it, because Chad was not offended at all. Like it. And I was sitting next to Chad when that happened, and we both laughed about it afterwards. We were laughing, like, "Oh God, that was pretty funny." He just doesn't want to get in trouble, and that was at Illinois when he did that. And then the most recent one, Fran was just being a Richard Cranium to Mark Emmert, and it was uncalled for. It was like I jokingly said, if you guys ever listened to The Score out of Chicago back in the day, the Boers and Bernstein show, when they would do Who You Crappin'?
Yeah.
It was like Who You Crappin'?
Yeah.
Is what it was. It was like when Ditko's like, "You're the guy that told me that being calm was better, and now you want me to have the fire.
Who you crapping?
Who you crapping?"
Oh, it was such a great bit. Yeah.
It was the same thing. It was who you crapping. It was like, well, first you want me to play the young guys, and now you're complaining about the. And I don't think it was complaining. It was just asking questions, and yeah. But that's what you're going to get especially when I was going on a little bit of a skid with Fran. You're going to get prickly Fran. You're just going to get that.
Well, especially after a loss.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. After these Zoom calls, Fran's coming out quicker than he normally would. So we're getting him when he's still running hot.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
He runs hot already. And I remember early in his career, I think that it was the game. Do you remember they lost to Campbell? Mm-hmm. It was early in Fran's tenure at Iowa, and he was so pissed. We waited for 45 minutes for him because he finally cooled down enough where he could come in the room. And he gets terse. He'll get terse. Like last night, he was fantastic. But he's great after the pressure's off. You worry about the pressure getting on Fran a little bit. Expectations, everything. And he gets a little tight.
I guess I think that what you're saying with Chad, it was like he basically was just like, that's an excellent question, Chad, and you've done your research.
You're a smart guy.
You're a smart guy, yeah. And you couldn't. So the first time I watched it, I was like, all right, because it was from Chris Hassel. I saw it and said, like, this is not how you treat your media. And then I was like, well, wait, what am I watching? I watched the second time, and I was like, all right, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Chris doesn't cover the team. Chris, I saw Chris Hassel grab a camera when Kirk Ferentz was having a I wouldn't say heated discussion, a forceful discussion when Kirk was having one with the Associated Press reporter. Went and grabbed his camera so he could film it, so he could embarrass Kirk Ferentz.
No, that's not needed.
And
But some people are like that. Some media is like that. You go for the
They're
jugular.
not all cool like Tommy K.
He almost got arrested up at Michigan State.
Who did?
Hassel, because he didn't follow the directions of the on-field staff.
Oh, wow.
After a game. Yeah. He's just... he's what he is. He's a very talented guy.
He's very talented. There you go. Yep. Best
Very talented guy with a very thin skin.
Smart guy.
With a very thin skin.
So what's on the docket now?
Translucent, almost.
What do you have going on now? Obviously, are you just waiting to get through this and then figure out what you're going to do for March Madness?
You know what I'm bummed?
Yeah, what's
I'm bummed that we don't get Iowa Penn State wrestling
Yeah, I
tomorrow
know.
night. That is a bummer because that was going to be a fun meet.
That would have been a fun duel.
And we didn't. The two biggest duels of the year for Iowa wrestling we're not going to get. Probably. Right? Unless they make them up. The Michigan one?
Yeah.
Michigan would have been great.
Michigan would have been great. We lost a lot by just doing the Big Tens, though. I mean, you lost Oklahoma State, you lost Iowa State. Those are big ones as well. But, you shorten the season down the best you can. You be the safest that you can to be able to get to the national championships. And
So spring football, too, will be late March.
Yeah.
That's maybe after basketball, that's going to be the next big thing. And April 16th, it looks like we're going to go into a quiet period for recruiting. So for the first time in a year, kids can go on campus. Imagine that. Being able to go on campus and actually visit a school that you're going to commit to and spend 4 or 5 years of your life at.
Holy moly.
How novel concept.
It really
that you can
is.
actually meet the coaches that are, there's going to just
shape your possible NFL future.
with the transfer rules changing where guys can just leave at the drop of a hat and not have to sit for a year and no appeal process, you guys just wait. There are a lot of kids making bad decisions. So going to be a lot of names in that transfer portal.
Really?
A lot of them.
You think leaving Iowa or just other?
Just overall.
Overall, okay.
Just in general, there's going to be a lot of names in the transfer
What have you
portal.
heard so far about the Iowa recruiting class that is for 2021?
The 2021 group, there's like 6 guys on campus already.
Okay.
So a couple of the offensive linemen, David Davidoff and Connor Colby, kid from C.R. Kennedy, are on campus. And a couple of the receivers, Arlen Bruce and Keegan Johnson, are both on campus. So they're going
Isn't Bruce the kid they're talking about should come in and play right away?
He could. Keegan Johnson's probably better.
Okay. There was one of the two that I heard was probably going to come in and play. Might have been you that tweeted it.
Yeah. Arlen's more like a Tyrone Tracy, and Keegan is more like Mir Smith Marset, I think. Brody Brecht would be more like a Brandon Smith, bigger, more physical receiver.
So we did talk about Kellenberger leaving. Who takes over at left tackle?
That's a good question. I wrote about that yesterday. Nick DeJong from Pella is a kid to watch. I think he's been a steady riser 2 years at Iowa and been in the 2 deeps, at least on game days and stuff like that, at tackle. 6'6", 295. He's a walk-on, but in the way Iowa does things with most of their guys, not all of them, but most of them, like Kyler Schott is a guard. Cody Yent's probably a guard. Justin Britt, a guard. Tyler Linderbaum, a center. But a lot of these younger guys like Mason Richmond, Tyler Endries, Tyler Ellsbury, Noah Fensky, guys like that, they are kind of interchangeable. They got the frames that they could play tackle or guard. Just depends on how their feet is, I think, more than anything else. And so I suspect we're going to see Jack Plum at left tackle because he's got the most experience. But then they're going to move guys around. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. There's still plenty of talent there. It's just young and untested at this point. And the other added thing is you're going to have a different set of eyes judging them.
Right.
Because Tim Polasek is not there.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
It's going to be interesting. Linderbaum's already looking to be, 2022 first rounder.
Yeah. So once Drinkle gets the job,
we'll definitely
Drinkle will laugh when he. Tell him we were talking about it today.
I will.
I'm gonna text him and tell him we're talking about him today.
I will. Yeah, and then we'll see you. Well, definitely, we need to have you back on before you leave for Indianapolis for the Big Ten. And then, real quick, in just short time, are you getting excited at all for baseball season?
No, because the Cubs are going to be terrible.
That's what I thought.
Thank you, Tom. Let's go Padres.
All right. Hey, enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. Stay safe and sanitized. Stay warm out there. Thanks, Kaker. We appreciate you. See you guys.
From the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.